So in this video, I'm going over the controller settings for Sea of Thieves and giving a more comprehensive guide on how some of the sensitivities work. Since you guys were asking me what my settings were. All right, so the first thing I want to go over is controller hotkeys. So for me, I actually have a Blitz 2 controller. So I just have my keybinds for my food and my throwables on random keybinds on the keyboard that I can then keybind to the back buttons on my controller. So I don't really have any keybinds really in here, but what I would recommend is key binding your food on your right joystick or throwables. You can also use the right D-pad and the left D-pad also for food and throwables. You're pretty limited on what you can keybind on controller, but that's just something that I would do that I also used to do before I had a different controller. Now for controller sensitivity, I play on 7 sensitivity. Something I think that a lot of people don't know and don't talk about is your main sensitivity right here actually affects how quick and how slow the rest of the other sensitivities are. So as you can see, I play a 6.7 pistol sense. So this is how fast it is for me to turn around an ADS with the pistol on 6.7. But you'll notice if we lower the sensitivity to say 4.0, you'll notice that my sense on my pistol is now noticeably way slower. And if we increase the sensitivity all the way up, it is now way quicker. So something to keep in mind when you are changing your main sensitivity right here, the higher this is, the faster these senses will be, and the slower your senses right here, the slower your ADS senses will be. So just keep that in mind. Also, if you're wondering why I have a 10 eye of reach sense and then everything else is on 6.7, that is because a 6.7 eye of reach sense doesn't actually match the sensitivity with a pistol or like a blunderbuss. As you can see, this is how quick it is when I move my pistol around, pull out the sniper, and you'll notice it is way slower. The sensitivity does not match the same speed whatsoever. So I have my eye of reach sense at 10 because it's the quickest, and it matches the sense of my pistol more closely. So that's just why I have it at 10. Another thing I want to talk about with sensitivities in Sea of Thieves is a lot of people tend to say that you need a really high sense to keep up with M&K players. You definitely don't. Having a higher sense helps with that. I like 7 because it's not too fast and it's not too slow. The thing with higher senses is that you're going to be less accurate, and it's also you're going to have to play longer on that sense to essentially get warmed up to start hitting your shots, and you're not going to be very consistent on a super high sense unless you are able to play the game 10 hours a day. If not, you're not going to be consistent on a high sense at all. You would benefit greatly from lowering your sense to 7, 7.5, because you just really don't need a high sense to keep up with M&K players. More importantly, there's not a sense that you can put on that's just going to magically make you way better at the game. What it really comes down to is your ability to center shots on your opponents, track them, keep them in the middle of your screen, and kind of just reaction time. That really matters more than a sensitivity. That's really what it comes down to when trying to get better at the game, instead of just trying to copy a sense or change your settings a bunch. Now, we're going to go over dead zones. So if you don't know, how dead zones work on controller is that the lower your dead zone, the quicker the game reacts to you pushing your joystick. So if I have a high dead zone, say 0.5, it's going to take way longer for the game to recognize that I have moved my joystick. So essentially it's giving you input latency. So you want your dead zones to be as low as possible. This will make you more accurate and the game will be way smoother. Now I will say, if you have stick drift on a lower dead zone, what you can do is you can increase the dead zone little by little until the stick drift completely goes away, or if the stick drift like isn't like that, bad, it's really not that noticeable, then you can put up with it and it won't really affect like your aim, and you should be okay. Controller menu dead zones. I don't know why they added this. It's a pretty stupid feature, honestly. I just put this at point 1. I would just ignore this setting. Repeat speed, it says at the bottom here, adjust how quickly inputs are registered when holding the left or right stick in any direction. I have not noticed a difference with this turned on to fast and having it disabled. I don't really know why they added this, to be honest. I keep it disabled. I don't notice a difference with it turned on, so I just keep it disabled. All right, response curves. This is a pretty big one. Response curves are kind of like the dead zones up here. The higher your response curve, basically the more input delay you are giving yourself, because the game is going to take longer to recognize that you have moved your stick. But that's not the only thing it does. So like a 1.0 response curve is a linear response curve. It's as low as the response curve will go in Sea of Thieves. So when I turn my stick, it's automatically moving my character. There's no delay when I'm moving around. But on a higher response curve, say like 2.0 response curve, how the response curves work, the higher they go up, is there's a delay when moving your stick, and it gradually speeds up and gets faster and faster, and then the speed will max out at whatever your sense is. So like I have a 7 sense, so how the response curves works, it will start slowly building up speed until it reaches its max sense of whatever you have in your settings set to. Personally, I would put your response curve as low as you can possibly play on, because the higher your response curve is, essentially you're going to make yourself worse because you will be inconsistent, because since there's going to be a delay from when you like turn your joystick and move, it's just going to lead to a lot of inconsistencies when you're trying to turn around and shoot somebody, because you're essentially not always going to be playing on the same setting or sensitivity that you have set to because of the input delay that you are giving yourself with a higher response curve. So I would personally always recommend putting your response curve at 1.0. If you can't play on a low response curve, what I would do is, let's say you play 2 response curve, lower your response curve to like 1.7, 1.5, get used to that response curve, and then gradually lower the response curve until you can get used to a linear response curve. Or just go straight there and just kind of suffer until you get used to it. You will benefit greatly from getting used to a linear response curve in every single game that you play, not just Sea of Thieves. It's way better than like running like a classic response curve or just having your response curve up higher. Now, I want to talk about the aim assist settings in Sea of Thieves. I believe 0.7 aim assist is the default aim assist value. You want to turn aim assist off or turn your aim assist values down to about 0.3 or lower. The reason why is aim assist in Sea of Thieves is very bad. It locks on to people before you've really like lined your shot up on them, which leads you to fighting the aim assist to try and hit the person. You shouldn't be having to try and fight your aim assist to try and hit the person. Should be helping you out. But in Sea of Thieves, it doesn't like do that on the higher settings. It just essentially makes you worse. If somebody's strafing and jumping a lot and they're moving around, you're going to have a lot harder time hitting them on a higher aim assist value, because you really don't have like the free will to just aim where you want to. The aim assist, it just locks on too soon on the opponent, and you basically have to let the aim assist like aim for you to like try and hit the person. So you want to lower your aim assist down to about 0.3 or lower. If you can't feel the aim assist like kicking in when you're fighting somebody in this game, then that's pretty much what you want to keep your aim assist to. Because any higher, again, it's just terrible. Aim assist, and it just does not help you very much at all on the higher settings. All right, now the last thing I want to show here is a little trick you can do with reduce hold to interact. If you don't already have reduce hold to interact on, you don't want to turn that on to do this. There's like a bug you can do on the cannon where you can move on the cannon and shoot your gun at the same time while the cannon loads. So it's in gameplay at the top here. Turn reduce hold to interact on. Now what you want to do is you want to get on the cannon, move the cannon around, shoot a couple cannonballs. Do this a couple times until you get it to work. You'll know that you've got it to work when you can load the cannon halfway and pull out your gun at the same time. As you can see there, I pulled my sniper out, the cannon's still loaded. But now what this allows you to do is you can move on the cannon while it's loading, snipe your gun, and then get on the cannon and shoot. This makes you a way harder target to hit on the cannon while you're broad to broad, like demasted next to a boat. Now this will help you out a lot in your naval fights.